Welcome back to the channel, guys. You guys are always wanting to know about these off-market cars. Here is one. This is VIN 2380. This is a 2017 083, which is ultra white with LA30 red interior. Under 27,000 miles on this car, $63,000, and it is a California car, Southern California car, its entire life. So I've been in touch with the seller of this car. That's how I know about it. He actually contacted me, reached out to me, and we started talking. So any inquiries on this car, the email he set up right here, gsfforsale@hotmail.com. Email him if you're interested in this car, and that's what I've got there. I'll go through the usual deep dive that I have on it, but let me tell you, this is a fantastic example, and I asked for a lot of photos from him. He took all of the pictures I'd love to see and that you guys like to see, the certain angles, certain things, and you will be pretty impressed with this car. Production statistics. So 648 out of the 2,348 cars for the US 49 were ultra white. Of those, 361 had LA30 red interior. So that is the most common color combination, white with red. 15.37% of all of the US 49 production was this color combo. So that is a 1 out of 10 for rarity. For 2017, much lower production, 115 of the 342 cars, so like a third of them, were ultra white, and 63 of them had LA30 red interior. So this car at its rarest is 1 of 63 in this color combination for 2017. As far as options go, so after 2016, a lot of stuff that was standard on the 16s became optional on the 17s on up. So FT, which is the 19-inch split polished wheels instead of the gray wheels. Gray wheels were standard and the polished were an added option then. So this car has that. It has option GF, which is the color heads-up display. Not all of them had it. This one has it. It has the Mark Levinson audio. Again, I would say like 98% of these cars had the Mark Levinson, but this car had to be optioned, so it has it. It does not have lighted door sills. It does not have orange calipers, and it does not have glass brake sensors. So I would say it's like middle of the road type of option car. It has the standard options that you would typically see. Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. This is where my job is easy. Carfax on 2026 and 2024. This car is a one owner, no accident, no stories, clean title, Southern California car with less than 27,000 miles. Epic VIN, one owner, no accident, same thing. AutoCheck, one owner, no accident, no stories, and it is the highest AutoCheck score I have ever seen. This is a 96 out of 100. Most of the really nice examples are like a 93 or 94. This is a 96. So I don't know how AutoCheck computes that, but it kind of matches with what I'm about to tell you. Previous sales. So this car went on sale in May of 2017 for $88,000 in California. It was still for sale in June of 17, still for sale in September of 17, and it finally sold, fast forward, August of 2018. So it sat around for 1 year and 4 months for sale to its first and only owner in Southern California. So now into the photos. The owner states that it has paint protection film on the front end. It's always been garaged. It's never been tracked. It's just this baby. It has a chrome delete. It has some miscellaneous pieces that have vinyl on them. It has an Elvin carbon fiber steering wheel, shift knob. All of the stock parts are included with the sale. So if you want to return it to stock, the caliper color was changed to red by the original owner. So this car was originally equipped with black calipers, and now it has red. A couple of the things that the owner is working on, it says it has the common sunroof rattle, so probably going to get the sunroof seal replaced and adjusted. He said that the fluids need to be changed. He hasn't done any of that recently, and it has a couple of dents that need PDR done. So for the last recent time, it's been a daily driver, but he only lives a couple miles from his house, so it's just short drives. Kind of explains the low mileage, but also the dents from parking lots. So as far as the price goes, $63,000. This is fair market for the mileage. If this car needs nothing, and it almost needs nothing, it needs fluids probably done just due to age, but not really mileage. These are the examples that don't pop up often, and like I said, I think it's something like somewhere between 5 or 8% of these cars left are clean title, one owner, no accident cars. This is one of those. When these come up for sale, you got to pony up if you want these. So clean title, no accident, Southern California, low mile, PPF on the front end, paint protection film, well serviced, I'll get to that in a minute, and it comes with all the stock parts. So this is exactly what you want to see if you are in for like a exceptionally clean example. This is what you want, and you're going to pay for it. So as far as the service history goes, this car is almost exclusively Lexus dealer serviced. The owner said he has an independent mechanic that's close to him that he uses as well. And so for things like oil changes, etc. The independent mechanic that he uses, he said his name is Music Box Tommy in El Monte, California. So a lot of you Southern California guys know who that is. He said you guys would know. So the first two entries of note are actually before it was even sold. It was in March of 2018, the JLB recall was done. So there was a stop sale on them until that was done, if it was in inventory, and so it was, and the high pressure fuel pumps were replaced. April of 2018, they touched up the front bumper when it was new. So there was some kind of damage or something to the bumper. So there is a little bit of touch up, but it could be just the bottoms or something like that. April of 2019, so now it's under the first owner, 3,300 miles, they installed the alternate compound brake pads. And so there was a lot of these early cars, people complained about the brake noise and the dust, but they're all dusty, but the brake noise. And so Lexus has, or Brembo has, an alternative compound that they offered for these cars. And so it's less aggressive and it's not as noisy. So to me, it sounds like the brake rotors have 27,000 miles. The brake pads have about 25,000 miles on them. October of 2019, the KLG was done. So that is the GPS location reporting incorrectly. That's already done on this car. January of 2020, there was a buzz that was noted on startup, and I talked to the owner about this and they couldn't replicate it. They tried again bringing it in February of 2020. And again in March of 2020, and they couldn't get to the bottom of it. And he said, once the car warms up, it goes away. Don't know what that is. They never could figure it out. December of 2020, at 7,000 miles, it shows 70,000, but I think somebody fat fingered something there, but it's 7,000 miles. Check engine light was on due to an aftermarket exhaust causing a leak, and they recommended replacing and installing the stock exhaust system. And so that's what the owner did. He put this stock exhaust back on. Very common on aftermarket exhaust, where the manifold meets the mid pipe, you would see a leak there. The oxygen sensors sit beyond that, and so if they don't get exactly what they need, they'll throw a check engine light, and so that's probably what went on. March of 2024, 18,500 miles, the right front and the left rear shocks were noted as leaking, and it doesn't say if they were replaced. I'd kind of assume they were. Very common on the 17s through 20s. They had this adaptive damping shock, and they leaked even when they had 12 miles on them. I've seen some of them that they're sitting there on the dealer showroom floor, and they're leaking shock fluid. So they didn't update the part until I think like early 2021. So this being done in 2024, it should have the updated part on it. May of 2026, 23,500 miles, the HVAC servo sweep was done. So there were codes stored, and hopefully that resolved the issue. So what's not done? The ZLZ on this car, that's the cracked, deformed, sticky dash. It's in service for 10 years. And so the in-service date on this car is August 28th of 2018. So you have until August 28th of 2028. So you still have a couple more years if it needs it. Brakes, maybe. If they haven't been replaced, it probably is going to need front brakes in the coming time. The carbon fiber trim is original, but again, this thing has been babied. So, I think it would still do it in the future, especially if you took it to a cold climate. So that'd just be kind of something to keep an eye on in the future. And then the owner agrees with me here on this, probably just to age, do the fluids, coolant, TVD service, transmission service, things like that, the drive belt, the rubber parts. And I would probably inspect the valley plate, its heat cycles and time. I haven't seen one with this few of miles need it done before. The FedEx guys here, you hear the beeping. I don't know if my mic's catching that. I haven't seen one with this few of miles that needs the valley plate replaced. However, it is something to keep an eye on, and you'll definitely have to address it in the future because it's heat cycles and time. Tires, looks like they have 2025 date codes, so it's got pretty new tires on it. And otherwise, it looks pretty much ready to go. Like, you can get in it, drive it, go enjoy it. So that brings me to, would I buy this car? I think you already know the answer. 100%, without a doubt, I would try to pick this car up. The price, as I said, you got to pay to play for these cars like this. And so it is a clean title, no accidents, no stories, well serviced, probably needs brakes. Great example, Southern California, one owner car. I mean, it's as good as it gets for these cars. And so if you are interested, Here's his email one more time, gsfforsale@hotmail.com. Contact him, and hopefully guys can work out a deal, and it is a fantastic example. I hope somebody picks this up and enjoys it, because man, it is a nice one. So enjoy. Thanks again for watching. Have a good weekend. We'll see you soon.